A 75-year-old man went to his doctor for a sperm count test. The doctor handed him a small jar and said to take it home and bring back a sample the next day. The following day, the man returned and gave the doctor the jar. It was completely clean and just as empty as before. The doctor looked confused and asked what happened. "Well, Doc, it went like this. First, I tried with my right hand, but nothing happened. Then I tried with my left hand, still nothing. Then I asked my wife for help. She tried with her right hand, then her left hand, but nothing happened. She even tried with her mouth, first with her teeth in, then with her teeth out, and still nothing happened." The doctor stared at him in shock. "We even called the lady next door. She tried with both hands in her mouth too, but there was still nothing." The doctor blurted out, "You asked your neighbor?" The old man nodded and replied, "Yeah, but no matter what we tried, we couldn't get this stupid jar open." A very straight and honest young woman decided to travel to town. Before she left, her mother sat her down and gave her serious advice. "Daughter, if you are going to town looking for a husband, there are 3 things you must remember. He must be faithful, he must be thrifty, and he must be a virgin." With those rules in mind, the girl went off on her journey. Several months later, she returned home to ask for her mother's blessing to marry. "Mother, I found the perfect man by following everything you told me. He is faithful. When we went on holiday together, he paid attention only to me, even though there were many prettier girls around. That proves he is faithful, right?" Her mother nodded approvingly. "And one night when it was raining hard and getting late, he suggested we stay at a hotel. To save money, he insisted we share just one room. That shows he is thrifty, doesn't it?" Her mother nodded again, though now she looked a bit uneasy. "And finally, Mum, I know he is a virgin." The mother frowned and asked how she could possibly be so sure. His that one is still new and hard, all wrapped up in plastic, Mum." A wealthy man and a poor man were chatting about their Christmas shopping for their wives. The rich man proudly said he bought his wife a diamond ring and a Porsche. The poor man asked why he would spend so much. The rich man explained, if she doesn't like the ring, she can return it using the Porsche. Then the rich man asked what the poor man had bought for his wife. The poor man answered, "A pair of slippers and a dildo." The rich man looked confused and asked why. The poor man replied, "If she doesn't like the slippers, she can go fuck herself." A wife started pacing around the house and suddenly asked her husband if she should cut her hair. He barely looked up and answered, "Oh, cut them." She sighed and reminded him how long it took to grow them. He shrugged and said, "Then don't cut them." She explained that short hair was very fashionable these days. Without hesitation, he replied, "Oh, cut them." She added that her friend said short hair would suit her face. Again he said, "Okay, cut them." Then she worried that short hair could not be tied in a knot. He answered calmly, "Then don't cut them." She said she wanted to experiment anyway. He nodded, "Okay, cut them." She suddenly panicked about the hairstylist ruining her look. He replied, "Then don't cut them." She announced that she was definitely cutting her hair. He responded, "Okay, cut them." She warned him that if it looked bad, he would be responsible. He said, "Then don't cut them." She reasoned that short hair would be easier to manage. He replied, "Okay, cut them." She hoped it would not look funny. He answered, "Then don't cut them." Finally, she declared that she had made up her mind and would cut her hair. He said, "Okay, cut them." She then asked when they were leaving. He replied automatically, "Then don't cut them." Confused, she clarified that she meant leaving to visit her mother. He answered, "Oh, cut them." She stared at him and asked if he was feeling all right. He calmly replied, "Then don't cut them. This poor fellow, the husband, is now admitted into a mental asylum and all he keeps saying is, 'Okay, cut them,' and then don't cut them." A woman called her husband at work, barely able to contain her excitement. She told him she had won the lottery jackpot and that he had better start packing. "Darling, that's wonderful!" he shouted with joy. "Where are we going?" "I'm not bothered," she replied. "Just make sure you're gone by the time I get home." A woman was home alone one afternoon when someone knocked on her door. She opened it and found a strange man standing there. "Do you have a vagina?" Offended and shocked, she slammed the door shut. The next morning there was another knock. It was the same man, asking the same question. "Do you have a vagina?" She slammed the door again and later told her husband everything that had happened. Her husband listened carefully and said he would take the next day off to stay home, just in case the man returned. He had a plan. The following morning there was a knock. They both rushed to the door. The husband whispered that he would hide and wanted her to answer yes this time so he could hear what the man wanted. She opened the door. The same man stood there and asked, "Do you have a vagina?" "Yes, I do." "Good. Would you mind telling your husband to leave my wife's alone and start using yours?" It was long past time for Paddy to settle down and get married. So his parents contacted a marriage broker in Dublin and asked him to find a suitable wife for their son. The broker came to their home and spent hours asking questions. He wanted to know everything about Paddy and exactly what the family expected from a future wife and daughter-in-law. They gave him a very long list of requirements. After searching far and wide, the marriage broker finally returned with a proposal. He spoke highly of the woman he had found. "She is the perfect age for your son. She keeps a tidy home. She is a good Catholic and knows all her prayers by heart. She is an excellent cook. She loves children, wants a big family, and on top of all that, she is gorgeous." The family was thrilled and immediately began imagining a wedding in the near future. Paddy, however, still had one concern. "Is she also good in bed?" The marriage broker paused and replied, "Well, some say yes and some say no." I was out back digging a deep hole in our garden when my shovel hit something solid. Curious, I uncovered a small chest packed with gold coins. My first instinct was to sprint inside and tell my wife the amazing news. Then I remembered why I was digging in our garden. One evening, a husband walked through the door and his wife immediately approached him with a request. She calmly explained that she needed $20 to go out and buy some meat. He stared at her in disbelief and snapped that she was out of her mind. Instead of arguing, he told her to follow him upstairs to the bathroom so he could prove his point. Standing in front of the mirror, he pulled a 20 out of his wallet and held it up. He smirked and said, "You see that $20 in the mirror? That one's yours, and this one's mine." The next day, after work, the husband came home and nearly fainted. The kitchen table was completely covered with meat from one end to the other. He looked at his wife in shock and demanded to know where it all came from. She smiled sweetly and told him to come upstairs so she could show him something. In the bathroom, she stood in front of the mirror and lifted her skirt. Then she said, "You see that in the mirror? Well, that one's yours and this one's the butcher's."